My name is Dr. Daniel Nunez. I am a licensed clinical psychologist and also one of the program managers for the Peer Model program here at the Institute for Multicultural Counseling and Educational Service, also known as IMCES. IMCES is an agency that has existed for the last 30 years, founded by Dr. Tara Peer, and the mission is to promote social justice and to provide quality mental health services to the underserved community of Los Angeles.
I'm Dr. Joseph Marquez, and I'm here to talk to you about the Portland Early Identification Program, PEER. I'm currently one of the program managers at IMCES for this particular program. This program was designed by Dr. McFarland in Maine, Portland. The intention of this program is to identify and treat individuals that are demonstrating the early signs of psychosis. Prior to this program, most of the individuals that experience psychosis were treated usually at the late stage, meaning that they have already developed full-blown psychosis, where the individual had already been detached from reality and have demonstrated severe symptoms of psychosis. The PEER program was designed to come before that stage of development of psychosis so that we can provide an intervention that can slow down or to a certain extent even stop, possibly, the development of full psychosis in an individual. Currently, there's research that has demonstrated that if we intervene in the early stages of psychosis, an individual can actually demonstrate incredibly results in significant life changes as they continue to move on in their lives. We know that in psychosis, we find three categories of symptoms. One of them is hallucinations, delusions, and disorganized thinking. Hallucinations in an early stage may look like the individual may hear clicking noises or may see things differently. For example, some lights may look brighter or dull. The perception of the individual may start to change. It's very subtle. The changes are very subtle as it relates to the hallucination components. So they may not seem obvious right away, but we start seeing some changes on the person and the symptoms start to create distress in the individual. That's a key component to keep in mind through all of the early signs of psychosis. The second symptom, or the second category, is delusions, which are false beliefs that the person starts to develop. For example, some people with early signs of delusional thinking, they might start fantasizing about a particular story they read, where they spend a lot of time thinking about the story, and they start sometimes feeling like they are part of the story, even though they may know that they're not part of the story. They may also spend a lot of time daydreaming, and it creates a lot of confusion in the individual. The last category is disorganized thinking. Disorganized thinking, you start noticing the early signs of disorganized thinking when the person starts to describe feeling like they are not understood by others, or they start to feel that they can send their message across, and they also start to hear that feedback from other individuals, from their friends, family members, anyone that they interact with. So as you can see, these early signs of psychosis may look like something that you may see on anybody. However, this is just an indication of something that may develop into more severe symptoms. As you can imagine, as these symptoms continue to progress, other behavioral changes come into play. Because the symptoms are so subtle, they're often missed by physicians, teachers, or even family members. And they're often thought of, most people think of the symptoms as a stage of the person, developmental stage, or something that will pass. However, if not treated early, the symptoms may worsen, and therefore the person's life may become impaired.
Hi, my name is Hector Garcia. I'm a community worker with the Peer Model Program at IMCS. And I'm here to share my story and my daughter's story and the struggles and challenges we went through with her severe mental illness. Before her symptoms, she was actually in JROTC. She was actually very good with school. So after her symptoms, she couldn't concentrate enough to continue attending her JROTC. Her grades started dropping. She had A's and B's, and all of a sudden it went to D's and F's. She couldn't do JROTC anymore. Her friends just, weren't there. Not because her friends didn't want to be there, it's that she would actually just cut them off. Always being scared of everything, as if somebody was always after her when there was nobody really there. Culturally, my culture, I really didn't think there was anything wrong with her. Just like my dad used to say, está loca, give her some time and she'll get over it. I honestly thought it was puberty. I honestly thought there was nothing wrong with her. She was just acting out, and if she didn't get her way, she would explode, which I was wrong. My daughter went to school, and while she was at school, during PE, she ended up cutting herself. She ended up slicing her wrist. Okay, the PE teacher caught her. Okay, after that, I got a call from the vice principal stating that my daughter was on the way to USC County Medical. When I got there, I thought my daughter was going to be okay. I thought she was going to be fine. And then they basically placed her on a 10-day hold. Okay, 5150 hold. From there, that's when I knew, wow, something's really wrong with her. I really have to get her help. That's when I wanted to educate myself more about getting mental help. My biggest challenge was wanting to get help for my daughter, and I didn't know how to go about getting help. Not knowing what mental illness brought to her and the challenges we were about to face. Those were my biggest challenge. It scared me. It was very difficult because, as a father, I wanted to protect her. I wanted to help her. I just did not know how. She got a psychologist, okay. They used medication to calm her down, and it really helped. Okay, she was actually able to concentrate more. She was able to be at peace and, being more active and reaching out to friends. Even though she didn't have too many friends, but she was reaching out more. Oh, at first I didn't believe in the medication and the medication actually working or helping her. But after seeing and noticing what was going on with her, I was open to it because I said, you know what, it can't hurt her. Let's try to help her with this. Let's go with the medication. Well, the therapist actually explained to my daughter, that it was okay. She would normalize things. And when my daughter was thinking, she was able to, talk about it, with the therapist. And the therapist would actually educate me on some of her symptoms and how to kind of de-escalate certain situations. And actually, with the support of the family, because it took the entire family to be more knowledgeable of the symptoms and basically what she was going through and how severe it was with her. Her symptoms were basically depression, always being scared. Loud noises would really distract her from even having a conversation. And then she expressed that she was hearing voices. So those voices really impacted the way she was thinking and really just kind of disturbed her. I wish I would have caught her symptoms earlier. I wish I knew the symptoms back then so I can proceed with getting her, help for her mental illness. know, she's no longer paranoid. She's able to not hear her voices. She's able to concentrate. She's going out. She's dancing more, listening to music. She's actually having a good time. It's peaceful. It's more at peace. My daughter's calm. Now with all the support I gave her, she's more open to talking to me and communicating to me. Her feelings, her emotions, and we actually brainstormed how to help her. I think it's great because you have a question and somebody in that team will have the answer. And they have the resources through the team, communication and everything that would help, better your child. The peer program is great because you would have the support of other families, okay, that would educate you and help you through your struggles, everyday life, and knowing that other people are going through the same thing that you're going through, it's just great. It opens up more resources, more education for the entire family. What I would advise parents to do is if they notice these changes with their children, okay, dropping of grades, lack of interest, always wanting to be by themselves, such as depression, please seek immediate help. The faster you get the assessment done, the faster they can get the help for the entire family.
Roughly from ages 12 to 25, any adolescents around that age that also has experienced certain problematic experiences or behaviors. Say, for example, they're feeling that something's not quite right, or having trouble thinking clearly or concentrating. A good indicator would be a significant drop in their schoolwork or in their work performance, fearful for no good reasons, or difficulty communicating and understanding. It's also for those that have had a decline in interest in activities that they once liked. Say, for example, if they once liked sports or hanging out with friends and now they don't. And for individuals that are experiencing severe anxiety or having suspicious thoughts, or even disrupted sleeping patterns. So those individuals are the ones that we would like to talk to. And we also accept Medi-Cal. So if you're on Medi-Cal, please come in and talk to us. Everybody is going to have their own personal individual therapist where they will discuss their symptoms and also how to manage their symptomology. This also can include family therapy, where families can see the therapist in order to learn how to communicate and support one another. The second component is psychiatric services. In psychiatric services, there's a psychiatrist and there's a nurse practitioner that would assist the family and the actual individual with the psychiatric needs. Maybe they need medication to control or manage their anxiety or depressive symptoms. The third component is the multifamily groups. We know that there are multiple families going through the same situation that you are. So what we develop is a group structure where the families come together and they support one another. During these groups, there is feedback on what's working, what's not working, what has helped and what has not helped. But the main priority is to develop a support group where we can help one another cope. Within the family groups, we have peer workers. These are individual community members that are working for the agency who have lived experience or have had a child with a severe mental illness. And what they do is they share their understanding of the illness and how they cope. They offer support for the families, and they also offer a sense of hope for the families. The fourth component is the educational or occupational therapists. In educational occupational therapy, the therapist assists the individual with their educational needs and occupational needs. They are taught life skills, study skills, and even skills to succeed in the job market, in the job itself, and also in the educational system. Our peer workers are also case managers. And what they will do is they will assess the needs of the individual and the family, such as financial needs, medical needs, housing needs, and will link them to community resources and support groups that will assist the families in meeting their needs. Collectively, all team members work together in order to support the individual and the family through this difficult process of severe mental illness. We are here to support you, we are here to help you, and we are here to provide quality care for you and your family.
So now that you have learned about the PEER program, the services that it provides, the population that qualifies for this particular program, the early signs of psychosis, what they look like, you can call us at IMCES so that we can help your loved ones start the recovery process.